Anastasia's microphone is a Sennheiser handheld 5200 Mark II with a 5235 capsule, which is a dynamic cardioid capsule, which is, after quite a lot of trial, definitely the best microphone I've used on her voice. The last 4 years. It's just beautiful, perfect, and she has such a powerful voice that it is really an issue to get the correct microphone. Which brings me down to the treatment of a voice, how to contain such a powerful voice, which is Anastasia's voice. So I start usually, the frequencies which will be a problem will be between 2 and 4 kilohertz, which are the frequencies which will really hurt, especially on the large PA. When you do outdoors festivals, and you really have to be careful with those frequencies, otherwise you're going to deafen the entire audience. So I start by doing a little cut, between 2, 3, 4K, and maybe 630 hertz as well. So I have a compressor. I had the profile, onboard compressor first on a vocal with gentle compression, followed by the plugin, a wave plugins, which is the C6, which is one of my favorite wave plugins, ultra powerful, with basically, for the one who don't know it, it's a 6-band multi-band compressor. So when she really sings super loud, you don't have to compress the entire spectrum, you just compress the band which causes a problem. And so in her case it will be between 2 and 4K, so I just put a hard compressor in that in that region and treat it accordingly. Okay, so I have the onboard EQ for Anastasia's sort of a general quick EQ, but I've also routed a vocal into a group, and I inserted a graphic EQ on that group, which I find gave me a lot of flexibility to EQ a voice. First of all, speed. On the profile you can bring up the graphic, with touch of one button, nearly, and just really grab the frequencies which bothers me, and on the fly. So I usually do this on the fly during the show. It's great. I just find it quicker and more precise than the parametric. So that's why I use it. I tend to use it sometimes when she speaks between songs. If there's a little problem during the show, you're not sure. So I use that moment to find that problem. And the graphic is perfect for this. And I'd say that's about it. I use a reverb on a voice, which is the revibe. As you can see, I leave the auxiliaries full on, but I actually control the reverb from the VCA. So the VCA controls the master of that aux. So aux 3 has a reverb, and just Anastacia, the VCA control the master of the aux 3. The reason I do this is when I mix, I can just control a reverb just with my fingers. It's just so easy, rather than the auxiliary. So that's my trick. That's what I do. So if I do a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay, I can have the delay up, just open it, mute it. It's just super fast this way. Better than a knob, I think, for me. That's what I do. Yes, for the toms, okay, the issue, as all engineer will know, is when you have the toms next, when you have a drummer who is really loud, each time he hits a snare, all the gates open. Or if you really want to have the gate, to keep the gate closed, you have to have a very tight threshold, which means you will miss some subtle hit. So it's a fine line. And I found that with a trigger, this is a solution for me. Basically, the trigger is a piezo on the top of the tom, which you mount on the tom. It's made by Roland. Usually, you use a trigger to trigger a sound from a sound module, but I use it to trigger the sidechain of the gate. So the gate, if there is no trigger, the gate will not open. It needs that trigger, that impulse, that signal to open the gate, and only the tom which is hit basically will open the gate. You can hit the snare as hard as you want, or the other tom next to it as hard as you want. The gate will still stay closed. So it's a great control.